We have also a testimonial poem that says, "Dragon kings of 4 seas are pleased to help at the great sage, equal to heaven's request. When Tripitaka meets an ordeal on the way, water is sought to put out the fiery red." Leading those dragon troops, Pilgrim soon arrived at the dried pine stream on the roaring mountain. "Worthy Ao brothers," said Pilgrim, "I'm sorry for asking you to traverse such a distance. This is the habitat of the demon. Please remain for the moment in the air and do not reveal yourselves. Let Old Monkey go fight with him. If I win, there's no need for you to catch him, and even if I lose, there's no need for all of you to help me. Only when he starts his fire will I call on you, and then you can send down your rain." The Dragon Kings all agreed to heed his command. Pilgrim lowered his cloud and went straight into the pine forest, where he shouted, "Brothers, to 8 rules and Sha Monk." "Elder brother," said 8 rules, "you've returned very quickly. Have you been able to fetch the Dragon Kings?" "They are all here," said Pilgrim. "You two had better be careful not to let the luggage get wet by the torrential rain. Old Monkey will go fight with him." Sha Monk said, "Go right ahead, elder brother, we'll take care of everything here." Leaping over the stream, Pilgrim dashed up to the entrance of the cave and shouted, "Open the door." The little fiends went at once to report, "Great King, Pilgrim's son is here again." Raising his head, Red Boy laughed aloud and said, "That monkey, I suppose, has not been burned by the fire, and that's why he has returned. Well, I'll not spare him this time, for I won't stop until his skin is charred and his flesh is seared." As he leapt up to take hold of his lance, he gave the order, "Little ones, push out the carts." After he rushed out the door, he said to Pilgrim, "Why are you here again?" "Return my master," said Pilgrim. "Monkey head," said the fiend, "you are indeed obtuse. If the Tang monk can be your master, can't he also be our hors d'oeuvre for wine? Forget him. Forget him." When Pilgrim heard these words, he was infuriated. Pulling out his golden hooped rod, he struck at the fiend's head. The monster spirit quickly raised his fire-tipped lance to parry the blow, and their battle this time was not the same as theirs last time. Marvelous battle. The wild demon, greatly enraged. The Monkey King, highly incensed. This one just wished to save the scripture monk. That one would eat Tripitaka Tang. Changed minds quelled all kinship feelings. Estranged, they allowed no concession. This one wished he could be caught and skinned alive. That one wished he could be seized and dipped in sauce. Truly so ferocious. Indeed so strong and fierce. The rod blocked by the lance, thus the contest raged. The lance met by the rod, each strove to win. They raised their hands to fight for 20 rounds. Both persons' abilities were just the same. The Demon King fought Pilgrim for some 20 rounds, and when he saw that he could not prevail, he made a fake thrust with his lance and turned quickly to give his own nose 2 punches with his fist. Fire and smoke poured out at once from his eyes and mouth as a huge blaze leapt up from the carts set before the cave's entrance. Turning his head skyward, the great sage Sun shouted, "Dragon Kings, where are you?" Leading their aquatic kin, the Dragon King brothers sent a torrential downpour of rain toward the fire of the monster spirit. Marvelous rain. Truly. Drizzling and sprinkling. Pouring and showering. Drizzling and sprinkling. It's like the meteors falling from the sky. Pouring and showering. It's like waves churning in a sea upturned. At first the raindrops seem the size of a fist. In a while they fall by the buckets and pans. The whole earth's o'erflowed with duck-head green. And tall mountains are washed blue like Buddha's head. Water flies down the canyon like sheets of jade. The stream swells in 1,000 silver strands. Roads forked 3 ways are all filled up. So is a river which has 9 bends. The Tang monk facing an ordeal is helped by dragons divine. Who o'erturn heaven's river and pour it down? The rain descended in torrents, but it could not extinguish the fiend's fire at all. The fact of the matter was that what the Dragon Kings let loose happened to be unauthorized rain, capable of putting out worldly fires. How could it extinguish the true fire of samadhi cultivated by that monster spirit? It was, in fact, like adding oil to the fire, making the blaze all the more intense. "Let me make the magic sign," said the great sage, "and penetrate the flames." Wielding the iron rod, he searched for the fiend. When the fiend saw him approaching, he blew a mouthful of smoke right at his face. Pilgrim tried to turn away swiftly, but he was so dazed by the smoke that tears fell from his eyes like rain. This great sage, you see, could not be hurt by fire, but he was afraid of smoke. For during that year, when he greatly disturbed the heavenly palace, he was placed in the 8 trigram brazier of Laozi, where he had been smelted for a long time. He managed to crawl into the space beneath the compartment which corresponded to the sun trigram and was not burned. The smoke whipped up by the wind, however, gave him a pair of fiery eyes and diamond pupils, and that was the reason why even now he was afraid of smoke. Once more, the fiend spat out a mouthful of smoke, and the great sage could no longer withstand it. Mounting the clouds, he fled hurriedly while the demon retrieved his fire equipment and returned to his cave. His whole body covered by flame and smoke, the great sage found the intense heat unbearable, and he dove straight into the mountain stream to try to put out the fire. Little did he anticipate that the shock of the cold water was so great that the heat caused by the fire was forced inward into his body, and he fainted immediately. Alas! His breath caught in his chest, his tongue and throat grew cold. His spirit fled, his soul left, and his life was gone. Those Dragon Kings of the 4 oceans were so terrified that they put a stop to the rain and yelled loudly, "Marshal Heavenly Reeds and curtain-raising Captain! Stop hiding in the forest. Start looking for your elder brother." When 8 Rules and Sha Monk heard that they were addressed by their holy titles, they quickly untied the horse and pulled the luggage to dash out of the forest. With no regard for the mud and slush, they began searching along the banks of the stream, when the bubbling currents swept down from above the body of a person. When Sha Monk saw it, he leapt into the water, fully clothed, and hauled the body back to shore. It was the body of the great sage Sun. Alas, look at him. His 4 limbs were bent, and they could not be stretched. His whole body up and down was cold as ice. "Elder brother," said Sha Monk as tears filled his eyes. "What a pity you have to go like that. You were someone who never aged through countless years. Now you have died young in the middle of the way." With a chuckle, 8 Rules said, "Brother, stop crying. This ape is pretending to be dead, just to scare us. Feel him a little and see if there's any warmth left in his breast. The whole body has turned cold," said Sha Monk. "Even if there were a little warmth left, how could you revive him?" 8 Rules said, "If he is capable of 72 transformations, he has 72 lives. Listen, you stretch out his legs while I take care of him." Sha Monk indeed straightened Pilgrim's legs, while 8 Rules lifted his head and straightened his upper torso. They then pushed his legs up and folded them around the knees before raising him into a sitting position. Rubbing his hands together until they were warm, 8 Rules covered Pilgrim's 7 apertures and began to apply a Chen method of massage on him. The cold water, you see, had had such a traumatic effect on Pilgrim that his breath was caught in his cinnabar field, and he could not utter a sound. He was lucky, therefore, to have all that rubbing, squeezing, and kneading by 8 Rules, for in a moment his breath went through the 3 passes, invaded the bright hall, and burst through his apertures. "Oh Master," he began to say. Sha Monk said, "Elder brother, when you were alive, you lived for Master, and his name's on your lips even when you are dead. Wake up first. We are all here." Opening his eyes, Pilgrim said, "Are you here, brothers? Old monkey's a loser this time." "You fainted," said 8 Rules Jew, chuckling. "And if Old Hog hadn't saved you, you would have been finished. Aren't you going to thank me?" Pilgrim got up slowly and raised his head, saying, "The Owl brothers, where are you?" The dragon kings of 4 oceans replied in midair, "Your little dragons wait upon you here. I am sorry to have caused you to travel all this distance," said Pilgrim. "But we have not accomplished our merit. Please go back first, and I shall thank you again in another day." The Dragon Kings led their large group of followers to return to their residences, which need not concern us here. Shamunk then supported Pilgrim and led him back into the pine forest to sit down. In a little while, Pilgrim felt more collected and his breathing became more even, but he could not restrain the tears from rolling down his cheeks. Again he cried out, "Oh Master! Think of your leaving the Great Tang that year, when you saved me from woe beneath that mount. On waters and hills we face demonic foes. Our bowels are torn by 10,000 pains. We eat with an alms bowl, whether bare or filled. In houses or woods we meditate at night. Our hearts are set on achieving the right fruit. How could I know I would be hurt this day?" Shamunk said, "Elder brother, please do not worry. Let us devise a plan soon and see where we can go to ask for help to rescue Master." "Where shall we go to seek help?" asked Pilgrim. Shamunk said,